Hi, welcome to Brain to Page, and this week I want to talk about writing advice. Now this might seem like a bit of an odd topic considering that's what I'm offering on this YouTube channel, but that's precisely why I thought it was a good idea to talk about it. Now I was talking to some writers the other day and I asked them what the main thing was that they wish that someone had told them when they first started out. And somebody commented that she wasn't a fan of instructional writing, if that makes sense, and that some people feel that their way is the only way. Some writers feel that writing is an art and as such must be practiced and you get better by simply doing it. Other people like me believe that writing is a craft and you can learn it, and one of the ways to learn it is obviously to follow what other people have done. You know, you wouldn't teach yourself to knit by just waving the sticks around with some yarn and hoping that you learned how to knit. It's all right to seek out instruction. Now, the problem is you do get some writers who tell you what to do, or they tell you the way that it works for them. I fell foul of this the other day because I tried to post a comment on a blog post about structure and was summarily told I was wrong, which I didn't find particularly helpful, and it's just really put me off commenting on that blog again. What I hope to do is offer advice, or more of a, this is how I did it. It might work for you, it might not. I like the idea that you'll give it a go. If it doesn't work, just don't do it. If it does work, great. You've got an extra weapon in your writing arsenal. That's the way that I approach how-tos with writing. I'm simply offering you what I did so that you can have a go and hopefully shorten the learning curve. That's it. So what do you actually do with writing advice? Well, really, you've got two things you can do. Fairly obviously, ignore it. Sometimes you will read something and it just doesn't resonate with you and you think, you know what, no. It might be that it just isn't applicable to your genre. It may be that you just don't like what you're reading. You don't think, no, that's not going to work. In which case, that's fine, ignore it. Alternatively, you can simply give things a go. Now, I'm a big believer in getting yourself something like this, which is isn't that gorgeous? My writing notebook. I have several. That's just the nicest one that I had to hand, and I do my writing exercises, because I still do them, in those by hand, because if I'm on the computer I will get distracted by Twitter. That's a given. So I'll look at an exercise and I'll give it a go. I try not to do it on a work in progress, so I may use characters or a scenario, but I try really hard not to actually do it in the work and document itself. I would say Word, but I'm starting to move over to Scrivener. But either way, I try really hard not to actually work on the document, because I'm treating these writing exercises I'm doing as exercises. They're warm-ups. It's the same as before you do any kind of sport, you warm up the muscles. Writing's the same. So the tips and tricks that I give you, like the homework I gave in the last video about making dialogue more natural, you might have had a go and gone, nah, I don't like that, or you might have gone, oh my god, that was brilliant, I'm going to do it again. And that's the point. You take something that somebody suggested and you give it a go, and if it works, great, keep doing it. It becomes part of your repertoire. If it doesn't work, just don't do it. So that is my biggest tip for writing advice. Use it or ignore it. It really is that simple. If you use it, you will get better quicker, because you're trying something you might not otherwise have thought of, because I don't believe that you can just sit and write and eventually you'll hit a point where you've done so much writing that you automatically become good, because you might, the whole do something for 10,000 hours and become an expert. You might spend 10,000 hours writing crap, so what's the point? I do think at some point you do have to have a look at what other people are suggesting. So that being said, I just wanted to recommend a couple of books. This one, Dynamic Characters by Nancy Kress, has a lot of sheets and worksheets and things you can try, which is particularly good if you're writing your first novel. Short stories just not quite as important for, because you've got fewer characters. There's this one, Plot and Structure by James Scott Bell, another very good one. I recommend this to everyone. I do a different type of structure, and I will be doing a video on that at some point in the future, but it's worth it. If you're really interested in structure, there's this one, Story Engineering by Larry Brooks. This one does fall into the trap of you must do this or you will fail, which I kind of go at, but it's worth having a look at. And this one, once you've actually written something, absolute godsend. This is the second edition, really, really good. I will put links to all of those in the description below. So basically they're just some of them. I've got loads more upstairs and I couldn't bother to bring them all down. But that is basically what I think you will get out of writing advice if you try it. If you don't try it, you'll never know if it would have actually worked or not. So please don't see any of my videos as I'm telling you what to do. I'm simply telling you the way that I do something, and what you choose to do with that is entirely up to you. So really, the only homework I'm going to give you from this video is buy yourself a notebook and do some of the writing exercises that you can find online in the books I've just mentioned, or that I actually give you in these videos. Okay, hopefully that has cleared up a little bit about my stance on writing advice, and maybe made you feel a little bit better as well. If you've got anything you want to see in future videos, leave a comment below. If you'd like to see future videos, then please consider subscribing. And otherwise, have a phenomenal week, and I will see you on Monday with another video. So until then, bye bye.